Hello Libra! Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn, Supportive Oracle Cards, The Halloween Oracle by Stacy DeMarco. Love how. Love how. Okay. Don't know her, by the way. Never met her. Don't even know what she looks like or anything like that, but I like her cards. So there's that. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we got going on for you. This reminds me a little bit of another reading I did today, but it's not going to be connected to it. It's just kind of like, it's all about perspective and where you're standing and how you're viewing things. You got the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. So you got the Princess and Prince of Pentacles here, which it's very interesting with this deck because the energy between the two, like, I don't read the Princess as a page and I don't read the Prince as a knight per se. They have more diplomatic energy with that. They're a lot stronger than that in my opinion because there's more diplomacy going on. So like the Prince of he would be like the leader of the guard, you know what I mean? The Princess would be more of like, she doesn't always just sit back and not say anything. She puts in her information where necessary. She waits for her moment. She waits till somebody's going to be receptive to her, and she uses her information wisely. She tends to be very smart, in my opinion. So when I'm getting the two of these together, it's kind of like I have to go through like 4 different levels of like absorbing and active and holding back. It's very complicated to me, but I feel like it's probably not to you. Like there's ways to go forward with information, and there's a lot of different ways to do that. And there's ways to absorb the information, and there's a lot of different ways. Like hearing something is one thing, reading something's another, watching how somebody acts is another. Like you seem to be absorbing in a lot of different ways, and you seem to be communicating in a lot of different ways. And I'm getting it's very complicated, but when I'm getting the Pentacle energy, this is something you've been doing for a long time with this situation, and you've put in a lot of effort and a lot of care into this situation. Now, even though you're doing this, while this is happening, somebody else is just not on board with you. You got the Nine of Swords, and somebody else, like, however you're doing it, they just don't connect with it. They're not about it. They're just, which is really weird, in my opinion, because you got the Two of Cups going on in the situation. Like, the situation's going very well, but somebody is extremely unhappy, and they feel like this isn't going right. Even though everybody's getting along, they don't feel like things are right. They feel like things are incorrect, and they don't like how things are going. All right, that's just the honest energy. Like, it makes me a little nervous because I'm like, where is that going? Because somebody's very unhappy, even though things are going well. It's okay. Well, let's keep going because it seems like that's like why, but we'll find out. Okay, so this person comes forward stronger. They've decided they're going to change a situation, and they may distance themselves from you. Once they start going in that direction, they're going to continue in that direction, and the farther down that path they go, the less connected they are with you. I don't know if they're completely disappearing, because I have a feeling they're not. That, I mean, it's a general read, take that with a grain of salt, but for most of you, they're not completely disappearing. Because they get the Eight of Pentacles, kind of like, they're taking the situation under their own control, and they're moving away from you. They seem to have an issue with you. I mean, I gotta be honest. I think that's what I'm trying not to say. They don't like you. I don't know why. I'm not saying it's rational or irrational. I don't know. I have a feeling you're not surprised. I don't think that's really a shock to you. Like, oh, they don't like me? Who knew? I feel like you're like, yeah, I know they don't like me. Yeah, I think you totally get it. You totally know that's happening. If this reading is hitting, you're like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Why is this like becoming an issue? Because I feel like it might. They're moving away. They want to end their connection with you. They want the Death card. Then they got the Barmback, never can say it, even though I read it off the card. So they're trying to get away from you permanently with the death card, and they got some possibilities coming forward, and they're trying to restabilize things without you. The thing is, when this starts happening, you are, again, I think this is why, because you already know this. You're like, oh yeah, they don't like me anyway, so if they want to go over there and I don't have to deal with them, okay. You're like, sure. You got the success card here, like, okay. Yeah, they don't really, like, people get along here, and they don't seem to get along with me about it. I do very well in keeping people getting along, and they just don't jive with it. So if they want to go somewhere else, then they want to go somewhere else. Okay, then it's kind of like you feel like you have to accept it, and you're kind of like, you know what? Take stress off of me. Take some stress off of me. So okay. This is where things get weird. They're moving away from you, but then at some point they find the need to really... I'm getting the word retaliate. So I don't know exactly what they were retaliating about. It may be something that they believe you did to them that maybe didn't happen. So I'm getting the word retaliate. They feel you did something negative towards them. That may not be what actually happened. That's the way they feel about it. Keep that in mind. Because they got the Three of Swords with the Moon card. They're expressing everything they didn't like about you. And they're making a big stink about it. Big stink. Big stink. Three of Swords with the Moon card is like, there's a lot of mystery here. I feel like the reason is because it's the way they feel about it. And it's like how they interpreted it, and they believe you did something towards them. And they're making it a big deal. Because they're very unhappy about it. This seems to come out of the blue for you. I think mostly because, I think for the majority of you, because it really didn't happen that way. However, this person is saying, like, oh, the Libra came at me, the Libra did this to me. This is what the Libra did to me. And you're like, that's not at all how that went. Like, that's not. And I think that's why it's shocking you. I think it is shocking you a little bit, because it's coming in out of the blue. Shocking you in the sense of, like, that didn't happen. But maybe you're not surprised that this person thinks this of you. So I don't know if you're surprised they think that of you, but kind of like, well, that's not how that happened. That's how it's coming out of the blue, if that makes sense. And you're kind of like, you have to go through the history of the situation. I know that they think, I left that door jam there so that bucket of water would fall on their head. I wasn't even in there. The custodian left something on the second floor and it fell off the side. Nobody was setting them up. It was an accident. The custodian was, like, they were cleaning something up there and the bucket tipped and the water came out. Nobody was setting them up for a joke. It was literally an accident. It wasn't supposed to happen that way. Nobody meant anything to happen to this person. And you might have to go through and explain that whole thing. Like, nobody set that person up. It wasn't a joke. Nobody tried to do that. I know people laughed when it happened. Some people thought it was funny. That was inappropriate. But it was an accident. It wasn't a setup. And you might have to actually literally explain that. Because it feels like that's what's going on. Like there's an accident or something that went left. And it was just not expected. It just happened. And this person took it as if you set them up. And that's not what happened. I feel like that's not what happened. I don't think you did. I'm not feeling like you did anyway. It's not how it's coming through. You stabilize it with the Nine of Pentacles. This other person, they just feel like you're just like you have a very sharp tongue and you can get yourself out of jams. They still think you really did that. That's literally what they think. They really think you did that. And they can't seem to be convinced otherwise, yet they may back down because it's kind of like, well, nobody's believing me, so I guess I have to back down. That they don't believe that. They really do believe you set them up. That's what I'm getting with the Ten of Wands. Like, I think that's the stress for them. Because I feel like the truth is trying to come forward, but they're not accepting it. They're not accepting it. From that moment, you have to decide, like, what do I need to do with this? Because you got the Alchemist, which is very much like the Magician. And the Alchemy here, it's like, now what are we going to do with this? Because now you're realizing, like, this person really thinks you're out to get them. And you're not. I think what the option is here at the end, because I do think you have the ability to do this. I mean, take it with a grain of salt. It's a general read. You have to help this person get distance from you. If there's anything you could do to help them get distance from you, I feel like it's better for both of you. Because once you realize that no matter what you do, this person thinks you're out to get them, there's nothing you can say or do at this point. You can't reason with that. There's nothing you can do. Because I feel like you have to look at this with the Eight of Cups, like, you know what, I don't want to give up, I don't want to admit defeat, but when you talk to somebody, and no matter what you do, they always spin it towards this negativity. Like, you could say hi, hello, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm sure it is. Like, they're always nasty. They're like, here, I brought you some food. I'm sharing food, and they're thinking, yeah, it's probably rotten. Like, anything you do, no matter, like, oh, here, I had some extra, whatever, I had some extra supplies, if anybody wants some. Yeah, they're probably used. I bet you somebody sneezed on them. Ugh, probably get sick if you touch them. Like, anything you do, they have, like, this negative spin towards you. There's nothing you can do. You can't reason with it. And that's the thing. The power of Libra is reason. If you can't do that, you can't do anything for it. I think that's the advice. Help this person go where they want to go. If they want to go away from you, let them do that. This isn't something you can actually correct. Because anything you do, I really get anything you do. Like, literally. Because I'm getting, like, you have to let this go dormant. You still might not completely get rid of this person, and it's not like you're trying to off them or anything, But let them get the distance they want. Let them deal with somebody else. And then somebody else will realize, because when you're not around for them to blame, they're going to have to find somebody else, and they will. I feel like that's what's going to happen. So help them move on. If they want to move on, help them. I feel like that's the best outcome for you. And I feel like that's what this reading's about. Like, you are good at negotiating with people and talking things out, but not when this person takes everything you say and twists it to, like, how evil you are. You can't reason with that. And I think there's sometimes you just got to accept that and be like, okay, then that's what it is, and you have to move on. Don't waste your energy on this. You have a lot better things, and you can make a lot better effort and a lot more impact other places in a positive way instead of drowning your energy out here. Okay. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.